Drew Gensemer's journey through military service. Throughout the history of the United States, millions of people, men and women, have served in the military. Each veteran has their own stories filled with their own experiences, challenges, and lessons learned. Many of the stories they have are not often shared. Some people think that because they weren't a war veteran, their story isn't important. Every story is important regardless of how big or how small the impact of a veteran has made. One of these veterans is Drew Gensemer, who served in the United States Marine Corps starting in 1998 until 2002. During his training, his travels, and the many responsibilities he's had has shaped him in little ways that helped him find out who he is today and gave him direction. Drew Gensemer was born in Tyrone, Pennsylvania. He grew up alongside his parents, Tim Gensemer and Jane Hayne. When he joined the military, his father worked as a prison guard and his mother was a nurse. He grew up with his two siblings, an older brother named Adam and a younger sister named Sarah. Neither of his siblings chose to serve in the military, but his family was still involved with military history. Drew explained that during his interview that his father served in the Air Force, his stepfather had retired from the Army National Guard, and even his great-grandfather had served in the military. Even generations later, Gensemer's own son followed the family tradition and joined the Marine Corps. Before enlisting in the military, Drew attended high school and worked small retail jobs while he was still in school. When he graduated, he was unsure what he wanted to do next with his life. College did not seem right for him, so he looked for another path he could go to. After some time, he decided that the military would be the best option for him. Drew explained,
I have much of direction on what I wanted to do after high school, and I didn't want to go to college.
Because of this, he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in 1998. When he asked why he specifically chose the Marines,
Because it was the toughest.
like most Marines, Gensemer had to go through boot camp before actually starting his service. Boot camp was extremely challenging, both physically and mentally. Recruiters were forced to run long distances, complete obstacle courses, march and practice for long periods of time, and even learn how to work together as a team. He explained that training included many different challenges and confidence training exercises, such as climbing towers and completing rope courses. One obstacle he remembered was called the Slide for Life, where recruits had to travel down a rope head first and then find their body halfway through the finish slide feet first. Another major challenge of boot camp was the nonstop pressure placed on the recruits by the drill instructors. Gensemer had said that the beginning of boot camp was very stressful because the instructors purposely tried to overwhelm and stress the recruits.
Beginning was what they do is they stress you and make it so you can't really think for yourself, to where it just becomes mentally stressful.
Gensemer even questions if he had made the right choice. He admitted,
Oh my God, why did I sign up for this?
once he learned the routine, it became easier and he was able to complete the rest of the training. One of the most important memories he made at boot camp, an event for him called the Crucible. This event is a final test that has a mixture of everything about boot camp was. It included long hikes, physical obstacles, and some teamwork exercise. After completing the Crucible, recruits earned the Marine Corps Eagle Globe, another emblem, which finally marks the recruits alongside with Drew Gensemer as Marines. He said that the moment he had been given the symbol was one of the most memorable parts of his military experience. He explained that after finishing the Crucible and receiving the emblem, he realized that he had finally made the right choice and he truly earned the title of Marine. After completing boot camp, Gensemer went on to attend Nuclear, Biological, and Chemical Defense School, which is often referred as NBC School. This training took place at Fort McClellan in Ashtown, Alabama, and lasted for about 3.5 months. He described the training as difficult because it required large amounts of studying and lots of memorization. He explained that the first 2 weeks were very challenging because of how many chemical agents he had to learn about. During his training at NBC School, he learned how to identify chemical agents, understand how they affected the body, and detected them using specialized equipment. He explained that
On, like, certain ones smelled like flowers, so if you were in the desert and you smelled flowers, you knew that it was wrong. Or just like blister agents cause blisters on the skin and such.
He also learned how to protect people from them and how to perform the decontamination procedures. And if someone became exposed to them, another part of training involved how to predict nuclear fallout after an explosion. Drew explained that the direction of wind and weather played a major role in determining where fallout would travel. He said that weather and wind will tell you where it's going and how far it's going. And this knowledge was important because it helped Marines, especially Drew, understand how to protect themselves and others during dangerous situations. One important exercise during Drew's training was entering a live agent chamber. In this exercise, the Marines were able to test their protective gear and see that it actually worked. Although Drew did not use or work with any of the large pieces of equipment, he did use detectors that could identify chemical agents in the air. This training helped him prepare for situations where hazards might appear. After his specialized training, Drew received his first major assignment overseas. He was stationed in Ikawani, Japan, where he served for about a year. While he was stationed there, he worked many different roles. One of his main roles was to teach other Marines how to protect themselves against chemical agents and how to properly decontaminate themselves if they were exposed. He explained that teaching could be both fun and challenging depending on the groups of soldiers he was working with. Sometimes it was enjoyable, but other times it required more patience and discipline. Gensemer explained that one method he used for teaching was the KISS method, which means keep it simple, stupid. This method meant teaching complicated information in an easy way that everyone could understand and be able to memorize it. He said that they were told to teach the information like we were teaching a 2-year-old how to do. He said Drew enjoyed teaching personally because it helped him improve his confidence and skills of speaking in front of large groups of people. While he was stationed in Japan, he also worked maintaining equipment and managing supplies in the warehouse. So jobs he had to do were keeping track of inventory and performing maintenance on the important equipment. This was very important because if the equipment failed during real emergencies, Marines would not be able to detect dangerous chemicals. He explained that if the equipment didn't work, it could have been life or death for the Marines, depending on whether they were able to detect the agents or not. During his time in Japan, Drew also experienced several memorable events. One of the most intense experiences was when a powerful typhoon hit the base where he was stationed. Drew explained that the storm caused so much air pressure that if someone had opened the door, the pressure could cause the windows to explode on it. Because of this, Marines had to move between rooms to stay safe during the storm. After the typhoon ended, everyone on base had to work together to clean up the damage the typhoon had created. Marines had to remove fallen trees and debris. Another interesting event that happened while Gensemer was stationed in Japan was when there was a chemical attack involving some sarin gas in Tokyo subway system. He and other Marines had to prepare to deploy and assist with the problem if needed. In the end, they were told that they would not be sent to Tokyo, but the experience still showed how quickly situations can change during military time. After his assignment in Japan, Gensemer was stationed in Camp Lejeune in North Carolina for about 2.5 years. While he was there, his job was very different from what he did in Japan. Instead of working with aviation units, he worked with ground units. This meant when units deployed or did field work, he normally came up. Field work normally happened about twice a year and could sometimes last for a month at a time. During these exercises, Marines often relied on MREs, which stands for meals ready to eat. These were packed meals made for situations where soldiers could not access regular food. Drew explained that the MREs were commonly used during field work or emergency situations where the soldiers were away from cafeterias. Although the meals were convenient, they were not the best thing to eat. He even joked about some of the food he ate was worse than school cafeteria food. Despite the many challenges of military life, Gensemer formed many strong friendships during the service. These friendships often and are still lasting long after his time in the military has ended. Drew explained that one of his best friends, Adam, lives in Reading, Pennsylvania, and they continue to stay in contact today. He described military friendships as very strong and that even if years would pass without speaking, it feels like no time has passed. After serving 4 years, Gensemer's time in the Marine Corps had eventually came to an end. His final week in the military was busy as he was preparing to leave the service and come home to his family. He explained that the week before his discharge, he was in the field helping train a unit that was preparing to deploy. Then the following week became a rush for him to finish paperwork and prepare for the transition to civilian life again. After completing his service, to return home to Lebanon, Pennsylvania, where his family welcomed him back with open arms. Adjusting to civilian life took some time for him. Drew explained that the military has given him a very structured lifestyle, and civilian life did not always follow the same routine for him. However, the structure he learned in the Marines stayed with him long and is still continuing to influence his life later. After leaving the military, he began working at a wastewater treatment plant for 2 years. Later, he spent about 20 years working in armed security. Today, Gensemer works in radiation protection as a rad waste operator in the Crane Clean Energy Center, which is formerly known as the 3 Mile Island. In this role, he helps decontamination equipment that comes out of the reactor building and may have reactive contamination on it. Looking back at his time in the Marine Corps, he believes the experience had a positive impact on us. He explained that the military helped him become less impulsive and more thoughtful about his choices. When reflecting on how the military shaped his future, Gensemer said that it gave me direction until I figured out what I wanted to do. He also shared an important message for the younger generations. He suggested that if someone does not know what they want to do after high school, joining the military can be a good option. He explained that it can help people gain structure, learn discipline, and discover their passion. In conclusion, Gensemer's service in the United States Marine Corps was an important part of his life, from challenges of boot camp to specialized NBC training and assignments overseas. His experience helped shape the person he became. Through dedication, teamwork, and perseverance, Drew served his country while also gaining valuable lessons that will help guide him for the rest of his life.